Thank you so much, Juan. So we're back again. Now we are cutting the first incision, and my good lady, is that Salma?
Yes.
Yeah, Salma Torres. Oh my God, I remember. So I'm gonna get this one. This is one of those sharpest. I think it is one of the sharpest that we have. Okay, this so and you see when I'm making the incision, I'm always cutting away. I'm not cutting towards any of my body parts. Okay, because I like my body parts, you know what I'm saying? I want them to be intact. You see, my fingers are on the short side, and I'm gonna cut from one long side to one, to the other long side. But I'm not gonna finish it with this. I'm just gonna make sure I'm central, and then I'm gonna try to gain access. Do you see how tough this is? You know, and this is very sharp. This is, like I told you, is the sharpest of the scalpels that we have in this lab. And after I gain access, I'm not going to complete my cut with the scalpel because it's too dangerous to do that. Especially this ball is slimy and it's real slimy and stuff like that. Or you can see what's oozing out right now. What do we call that fluid? It starts with an A and it's really slimy. It starts with an A. It's like water, aqua. So it's going to be aqueous humor, my good friends. Aqueous humor is recycled fluid, okay? And I even told, it's in the diagram over there. I'll show it to you later. It comes from the ciliary processes of the ciliary body. And we'll see the ciliary processes today when we remove the lens and stuff like that. You see that? You see what I'm saying, my good friends? Oh, my God. Oh, do you see my cut is right in the middle, my good friends? I'm going to measure it. I'm not going to measure because I won't have time for that. Okay, and now I'm making incision to one of the sides. And this thing is so slimy. I chose to go this side. That's what I did. Okay. Oh, my God. Did you see how I removed all the connective tissue? I made sure I could identify all my muscles before I made the first cut. Because once you make the first cut, this thing is going to be even more slimy and difficult to handle. You understand? So you don't want to do all those busy things after you've cut the cornea like this. So we're making the first incisions on the cornea. Do you see what I'm saying, my good friends? And just for interest's sake, this would be the right eye. Do you see what I'm saying, my good friends? Oh my God. It's now so slimy. This is the lateral side, right? And this is the inferior side. So it's like this. So it's going to be the left eye. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the lateral side. Do you see what I'm saying, my good friends? That's how you can tell. Because of that. So we open up and see what's inside. Oh, this is the way I did it. So this was a brown-eyed sheep. Okay, because the iris is brown. Do you see that? And then that hole in the middle is the pupil. And what's behind the pupil there is the lens. Do you see what I'm saying? So when we dissect and when we cut the other one and we see the that gel in the back that holds the choroid flat against, the retina flat against the choroid, we will see the iris. We will see the ciliary body which is black. It's not going to be brown. So you see the ciliary body, and then if you look towards the back of that, you will see the optic disc where the nerve gets in. Okay, so there's that. So this is the cornea, correct? All right, and then this is the iris. The brown, because the iris is the curtain of the eye. It contracts, with the sphincter pupillae muscles and dilator pupillae muscles to dilate the pupil, especially in dim light. In dim light, you want the pupil to be bigger so you can let as much light as possible. That's why when you are in the dark, you go like this. You open your eyes, and then when you're looking at the sun, which you shouldn't, because it will really blind you. You have to squint your eyes so you limit the amount of light getting into the eye, correct? All right, so we got this cornea here, which is part of the fibrous tunic, and then in the back we got the sclera. Okay, so we've made the cut on the first part of the fibrous tunic, which is the cornea, right? The most anterior, and then we could see the pupil, and we could see the iris, which is the iris is part of the vascular tunic, right? So, and then we're going to cut the video now. We have identified the external structures and